Vices. What are your vices? Excuse me. Everybody has them. Everybody has different vices usually. Cigarette smoking, vaping, watching too much TV, scrolling on social media, women, drugs, alcohol, overworking, overthinking. I mean, the list could go on and on, ad infinitum. What are yours? We all have things to overcome, let's say, in life. Were these challenges and these adversities, these adversary, how would I say, characteristics, there would be no challenge in life. Many people want to change the world. They want to change this person, that person, this situation. They want to fight for equality, want to fight for this and fight for that. And some of these things are very important and good. But the biggest fight they have is the one with themselves. And what they don't realize is that if they would take the time to work on themselves and to put that effort that they use fighting everything out there into, let's not say fighting, but into becoming the person that they would like to see in the world would miraculously change for them. So many people are out there trying to change the world. And I like what Mahatma Gandhi said. If you want to change the world, begin with yourself. But that's not usually what we do. We project ourselves into the outer world. And we see all those things and all those people and situations that we don't like, we hate, we can't stand. And that needs to be changed, we think. But what we really need to begin with is to change ourselves. There will never be peace in the world until each man has peace within himself. There will never be prosperity for all until each of us have prosperity within our consciousness. And that's difficult for people who have been raised up in extreme poverty. I won't use the word impossible, but it's easy for us in the first world here to think, oh yeah, everybody can be prosperous. But if you were raised in a situation in a third world country where every day is a day to struggle for survival, to get some water maybe that's not going to kill you, or to get some food just to make it through another day, and you see people dying all around you, this is what your mind, your impressionable young mind, has been programmed with, that the world is full of lack. And your mind gets, how do I say, saturated like a sponge with lack thinking. And to break out of that is very difficult. I want to say, if not impossible. It is not impossible, but highly improbable that you will ever do it. It can be done. So when you look at people, if you live in a first world country, in this paradise of the United States like I live in, some people think it's terrible here because they don't know the contrast. Everyone who is not happy with our country, I mean, I'm not happy with the way a lot of things are going, of course, but everyone who thinks we live in a country where it's terrible and there's no opportunity, it's lacking, should talk to those people that die every day, before they die, of course, trying to get into our country to take advantage of the opportunity that some of us think doesn't even exist. That's what they do. They die to get here. They trek thousands of miles for the opportunity we have in this United States. We live in a paradise, and many of us don't even realize it because we're so busy complaining about our flat tire, our government, how the man at the store didn't treat us right, the hospital, they didn't take the time out to treat our injuries, or we had to wait, or this or that. If you go to other countries, or at least when I was there, I lived in a foreign country for 6 years, at the banks they did not have night depository. This is a small convenience that we have here. no night depository, much less drive-up banking. Every Friday and payday, there would be hundreds of people standing in line to cash their checks. And they had to wait for hours. And they made the most of it. They had a good time joking, talking to their friends. At least they had social life there. Now, the good side of that was, on Sundays or Saturdays too, the parks were full of people talking. So people actually communicated, not just by social media. And we had telephones then. That was probably about, 2023? That was about 14 years ago. Things may have changed by now. I haven't been back there since. But people that were hungry in those countries were skinny because they didn't have food to eat. We have a food pantry right up the road from my house here. Most people drive a car there, and most of them are obese or overweight, going to the food pantry because they lack nourishment, supposedly. I think if we look at our country at a, 75 to 80% obese or overweight statistic, the average American woman weighs 170 pounds. The average American man weighs 190 pounds. We definitely don't live in a country of lack. We probably throw enough food away every day at the restaurants and different places to feed many of the people who are starving in the world. And why am I telling you this? I'm not telling you this to make you feel guilty or make you feel bad or to bum your day out. I'm telling you this because we live in a land of abundance, and we are blessed and fortunate to be born in such a land. And if you're not taking advantage of the opportunities that are here today, you have no one to blame but yourself. I'm not here to tell you what you want to hear. I'm here to tell you what you need to hear, what will make you better, what will make you have a more fulfilling life, a happier life. If it were not for the people that told me what I needed to hear instead of what I wanted to hear, I wouldn't be here sharing this with you today. If you can and you have the opportunity, you need to go visit other places in the world. Make it a priority to go to a third world country where people are less fortunate than you are. Every time I'd fly back into the United States from Latin America, there was a feeling of safety and cleanliness because it is so polluted and dirty in these other countries. I mean, people have no place to put their trash. It's dangerous. It's like living in the Wild West. And then up here, they're complaining about the police. I understand there are some crooked police. There are some crooked clerks. There are some crooked contractors. There are some crooked renters, or landlords, I suppose, and renters too. Some of them move in up here, and you can't get them out of the house if they don't pay for months, and they destroy your home. You live in another country, like where I came from there, you don't pay the rent, they'll come there and physically throw you out that day with the police. A whole different world. So my message today is to look around you and don't look at what you don't like, but look at the opportunities that are here for you and me. Many people come here to the U.S. without an education, they can't speak the language, and they become millionaires. And what do they teach us here? If you don't get a high school education, you won't get a good job and you won't be able to make it. That's the same message they told my father, they told me, and they're telling that to my children. None of us have graduated so far. And I'm a firm believer in education. Not much for formal education past, we'll say the 5th or 6th grade, once you learn how to read, write, add, and subtract. The basics. From then on, especially with Google and the way the world is today, you can learn whatever you need to learn. You just have to have the motivation, the desire to do that. I flunked English in high school. Later on, 20 years later, I opened an English school in Guatemala, which was very successful. And many people came to me because I had 70 students. I was the only teacher. They came to me because I was a native English speaker. And I learned more about English during that time than I did in school because I wanted to learn it. Now, I've forgotten it all now because that was years ago. So anything you desire to know, you can learn. But not everybody is cut out for formal education. Some people are. It's got its place, but it's not for everyone. So if you didn't graduate like myself, don't think that you can never make it in life, because you can if you want to. You can learn what you want to learn, what you need to learn. There's something in you, some desire, something that you want to do, that you came here to do, that you can do. But you have to take a step in the direction to learn how to do that, to achieve whatever it is you came here that you want to achieve. Don't let the people that told you because you didn't get a high school education, don't let that stop you. That's not true unless you believe it's true. What you believe is true will become true for you. It's like the old saying, we don't believe what we see what we believe. When your life occurs to you as you believe it will occur, it will unfold as you believe it will unfold. If you think you're going to have a great day today, you probably will. If you get up in the morning, stub your toe, spill your coffee, and say this is going to be one of those days, I can almost guarantee you it's going to be one of those days. You can start your day over any time you want to. And you're not doomed to a terrible day just because a couple things started out wrong. But if you believe you are, you will act accordingly. People function, people act according to their beliefs and their dominant thinking. And guess what? You can choose what to believe and you can choose what you think. Look how through your life your beliefs have changed. And many times by the suggestions that you took in, that you believed, that you heard. You are under constant suggestion all day long by the media, advertisements, many people. Now, what you let into your mind is really up to you. You don't have to let in every suggestion. If you find yourself being upset by something you saw on social media, you have accepted that suggestion and allowed it to infiltrate your mind. And you know what I said there? You have allowed it to. You let it in. No one forced you. If you are not programming your mind with your agenda, someone else is. So I'll finish with this. What do you want in life? Program your mind with your agenda and make it a successful, fulfilling one. Take care. Have a great day.